our third poet for this evening. Moritz is the sixth poet laureate of Toronto. His recent books include As Far As You Know, 2020, and The Sparrow, selected poems from 2018. Both are available through House of Anansi Press. In 2015, Princeton University Press republished his 1986 volume in the Princeton series of contemporary poets, The Tradition. He's published 19 books of poems, and as well as several volumes of poetry translated from French and Spanish. His poetry has received the Griffin Poetry Prize, the Guggenheim Fellowship, the Award in Literature from the American Academy of Arts and Letters, the Beth Hogan Prize from Poetry Magazine, as well as other awards. And without further ado, I will bring George back up to read some of the poetry. Thank you.
Al.
Oh, I'm sorry. Al. Al is here.
Yeah, I'm right over here.
All right. My apologies. Al, please come up and thank you so much.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, I'm always a surprise. No one expects the Spanish imposition. So, thank you. This is wonderful. What great songs. And I get to sit over there and watch the pianist's hands, and it reminds me of history going way back. You know, I knew Leighton and I knew Gwendolyn McEwen, but one of my favorite characters from history and art is Franz Liszt. And Franz Liszt is the person who created this. He was the first person to turn the piano sideways, open up the lid so it would be a soundboard, and he called his performances recitals because he wanted to get the prestige of being a poet. He wanted to recite like a poet, and he would create his own posters, and it was said, Herr Liszt will recite at the piano on such and such a day. He always said that. So that's a little piece of history that comes down to us from the great composer and pianist, Franz Liszt.
Now, I think you must go.
Oh, yes, good idea. Calm my bear down. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you very much. It's kind
That
of...
long.
Oh, okay, that was some of my peanut gallery. Thanks a hell of a lot. Okay, so my poetry reading is, I'm just going to take it from the book from which James's song comes. And James's song is called Marigolds. And he's chosen out of it, like in a sense, an essential part, or George and he together have chosen out of the book an essential part. Because the marigold, it sort of turns out to be the symbol of symbols, the most central symbol in the book. Now, the book is about the summer of George Floyd, so what does a marigold have to do with that? Well, and the book is about the summer of George Floyd in a very strange way, because it's mainly about the 1992 race uprising in Los Angeles in May 1992, called South Central Los Angeles at that time. So that's what the book's about. And but there I am, sitting in my garden, writing about these things and trying to participate in them or be one with them, and also being quite far away. So it was leading me to think about the commonality of things, how certain kinds of energy and so on run through everything. And so I began thinking about music. I began thinking about poetry. I began thinking about great poetry, you know, as defined by books and tradition and the poetry of music and of the streets and so on. And so in here I quote some of that. And in fact, the poem itself is soaked in American popular music and folk music. Well, folk music is only what people who consider themselves universal consider a regional popular music. That's all it is, right? So what I'm going to read is the beginning part, which will take about 4 or 5 minutes, that gives you the context. And then I'm going to move to the part from which is nearby, from which James's lyrics come. And I'm going to, read a little bit around the lyrics so that you get a little bit of their context, okay? So here's the opening part of this, which takes us back at the beginning to 1992. The television played the beating of a king, again and again, never-ending beating just to inform us now in 1992, 24 years after the murder of our great king. Now it's another, Rodney King, construction worker, poor, with his police record put against him with the leather and sticks of the police in the video of his arrest a year ago. The strikes to his face are brought back again, informing us over and over, the images replayed, remade on television, now that it was news again, not fade away history any longer. Now the police had been set free again. The jury in suburban Simi Valley just has found them not guilty of what we could see, of what we had to see. And Rodney stayed being beaten on television for being black, in black and white video that clarifies his troubles, being beaten on television for having little but troubles, that crime. And Dr. King had been dispatched, shot away 1968 by the nation of moonshots and citizen snipers, shot safely, they thought, to eternity for the sin of wishing them well. So they were left, the unworthy, the failed regents of justice here, of that banished poetry. Were you there when they crucified my Lord, when they nailed him to a tree? Yes, you were there. And now again in 2020, were you there when they crucified George Floyd? You were there when they nailed him with a knee into the concrete. Lord, don't let it be that you're being lynched on a tree ever and again as on a loop in hell, a video we repeat of a being beaten. Oh, don't let it be the image of what we are, of what we always must do, but establish the justice, the poetry that you were and are to be, the poetry that we kill you for. So that's the introductory section of the poem. And so I'm going to just read a bit and then flip to the part where, to give a little context, and flip to the part where the lyrics come from. And this will introduce why the Marigold is in here. So after that part, it is sort of brings in contemporary events, contemporary in 1992, contemporary in in 2020, suddenly the mood changes and you go to sort of symbolic romantic nature poetry. The garden in the midst. Poetry and the garden where it works, unwinding itself from the skein of nothingness. Poem and garden walled off are pierced, penetrated, and are helpless, open to everything, seen and unseen. The sawtooth acetylene shriek of the airplane passing over and soothed to drone by deep distance, or the hush of tires from the far highway, our surf here in the depths of this continent of concrete, auto waves crumbling asphalt coasts of the Central Sea, humans who roll over one another, composing, decomposing, ceaseless motion that doesn't move in the worldwide eye, unblinking in the world's breast that breathes as though asleep, sleeping unbroken as though dead, the world material in which the human wave passes as a form of torsion, of anxiety. The wave rises and is allayed by its exhaustion, dying away to rise again in the body that merely lies, while poetry and the garden in the midst stretch out their roots and leaves. Their action is no stronger than a flower. For instance, this marigold. I will switch ahead to the lyrics now. And think of the color of my favorite kind of marigold, the kind that's maroon and gold. It has the blood color almost, or dried blood color, and a maroon. So the shining of gold, dark and blinding bright by turns. The sun falling from blue clouds into the ocean, and noon and dawn, all folded and held up, carried, offered on motionless petals, fingers, rays, unchanged through all the day's seasons, and the night under spectral, low-watted garden bulbs. Unchanged marigold, except you always are born, flower, last in decay, and mummified, brown and stiff, stand in the snowy mud, shedding seeds. Mary's gold, your flower primal gold above and red gold underneath, streaked with rust and blood, earth ochre, stain of red clay, knife wound, spike and spear thrust, wrists tightly bound, thorns, menses, a dripping scalpel line, the 7 sorrows, 7 darts that sum up all cuts, lopping the human parts away perpetually, the darts that are your seeds, that grow in, pierce, harrow, fall from, and are your heart. And that's the word on which the lyric part of James's beautiful song ends.
And noon and dawn. bleached marigold, except you always, always are born. Flower, lust, and decay, and mummified, brown and stiff, stand in the snowy mud, shedding seeds. Mary's gold, your flower, primal gold above, and red gold